Hello and welcome to this presentation entitled I Am My Future, a collaborative residency in a youth detention facility. My name is Ellie Parker. I'm a saxophonist and educator based in Houston, Texas. Before I begin this story, I think it's important to mention that I have no background in criminal justice or music therapy or social work. My degrees are in saxophone performance, and I came to this project as a teaching artist and professional saxophonist, and as someone who was interested in collaborating with different people in different settings. This project was a first-time collaboration for many involved. This project began in the spring of 2019 when DeCamera and Houston Grand Opera were given funds from the City of Houston to produce a collaborative experience with inmates at the Harris County Youth Village. At that time, I was a DeCamera young artist and was invited to join this effort to help the residents of the GIFT program at Harris County Youth Village to create an opera based on what they envisioned their future to be. The teaching artists leading this project were Austin Llewellyn on double bass, violinist Madison Vest, Julia Fox, a singer from Houston Grand Opera, myself on saxophone. Our composer for this project was Theo Chandler, who also played keyboards, and we also had Brady Spitz on percussion. The community that we worked with were a group of girls in the GIFT program, which stands for Girls Inspiring Future Triumphs. It is essential to protect the privacy of these juvenile inmates, so we only ever learnt the last name of the girls that we worked with. However, I do know and can tell you that to be in the GIFT program, you are a person post-conviction, you're female, aged 12 to 17 years old, you're currently enrolled in some kind of group therapy program at the facility, and you are someone that has been a victim of human or child sex trafficking, and also identified as someone who the program hopes will not reoffend. It is extremely important that our collaboration protects the girls' privacy. Because of that, we are never told their first names or their ages. We never know their crimes or how long they've been incarcerated. Our job is to inspire them to be creative and not to judge them. We do know that many of these girls are currently receiving medical treatment for substance abuse, pregnancy prevention, and are also actively developing their social skills at this time. I told you at the very beginning that when we went to this facility, we went to create an opera, and that's exactly what we did, but that wasn't our sole objective here. We hoped that creating an opera would be a catalyst to help the girls develop their social and emotional learning. We were trying to improve their attitudes towards themselves and the world, and to help them feel better, feel more confident in themselves, and ultimately feel more uplifted. We wanted to create a safe place for them to express themselves where they felt confident and empowered. And we wanted them to start identifying themselves as a creative person capable of creating things. We wanted to help them develop listening skills, to work together as a team, to feel as though they can lean on each other for ideas and inspiration, and most importantly, to begin imagining how they want to shape their own futures. The way we tried to do this was by creating an opera that first dealt with issues that they have faced in the past, then by asking the girls to identify key skills and personal attributes that they already possess that would help them reach their future goals, and finally to describe their vision of what their future might be. It's important to note that this kind of introspective thinking and sharing was really difficult for the girls. We knew that by going down this road, there was a risk of someone revealing something about themselves that hadn't been discussed before. And because of this, all of our sessions were accompanied by teachers, security guards, and at sometimes a therapist. After several sessions, the girls ultimately created a narrative about how, when you have been betrayed, you can often become cold-hearted, which then commented on how difficult it is to overcome peer pressure, and finally imagining a future for themselves where they would be independent, joyful, loving, and healthy. After 14 weeks of rehearsing, we performed our opera in the canteen of the detention center. The girls created the backdrops themselves, and we provided t-shirts for all the girls and musicians. Our audience was a mix of male juvenile inmates, support staff from the youth village, and then a mixture of lawyers, judges, and representatives from the city of Houston and a few family members. At this point, I'd like to play some music for you now from that premiere performance. I mentioned at the beginning that we worked with Theo Chandler, who was our composer and who wrote all the music for the opera. But it is important to note that the girls wrote every lyric. We didn't put words into their mouths, and everything that you hear them sing, they have written themselves. In this premiere recording, you're also going to hear a lot of laughter and chatter. This was our first ever performance, and there was a lot of nervousness and high energy among the girls. This section that you'll hear now is called Sadness and Lies. When we started this project, we hoped there would be several dress rehearsals and time to cover things like basic singing technique, teaching them to listen to each other, and developing ensemble skills. But of course, none of those things happened. Just getting the content and music put together was a tremendous task. So when I listen to these recordings and hear the individual voices, I really hear young people thrilled to express themselves, perhaps for the very first time. This next section, entitled Peer Pressure and Positivity, includes an improvised rap section.
Never positivity.
The final selection I'd like to play for you today is from the finale of this work and is entitled I Am My Future, This Is Me. After our 14 weeks at the youth village, we had completed one of our tasks, to create an opera. The work was about 15 minutes long and we actually performed it twice that day. But we also wanted to reflect on our mission to help the girls feel better about themselves, feel safer, and feel more creative. At the beginning and the end of every music making session with the girls, we asked them to complete this mood meter. Usually, as they came into class, I might add at 8 a.m. on a Friday morning, they reported feeling sad, fatigued, pessimistic. When asked why, they would reply with things like, I'm tired, I don't want to be here, I just don't know. And almost every time after 60 minutes of music making, the girls would report feeling joyful, hyper, and excited. When asked why, they would reply with things like, she played her instrument for us today, or everyone learnt my dance move, or we're putting my lyric in the show. Although this is just anecdotal and we don't know how long those feelings last, I do know that having a creative outlet greatly changed the attitudes of those girls during that session. We chose the Harris County Youth Village because we thought we would have a really stable population. We thought that because the girls had been convicted and they were living their sentences, we would have them for the full 14 weeks. But unfortunately, for several different reasons, that did not happen. Because of this turnover, when we had the final performance, we really wanted to credit the girls who had previously been in the program as creatives. They had come up with the words, come up with the lyrics and ideas for the show, alongside the performers who were there on the day singing their heart out. As a teaching artist and musician, I can say without hesitation that this was the most exciting and life-changing experiences I've ever had, and has been a huge influence on my career as a music collaborator. Thank you for listening to this discussion today. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to get in contact with me via email. Thanks again for listening.